Good morning. We woke up with another inch of snow this morning, and it's a new day, and it's like -8 this morning. Might be colder than that down on the creek here actually, but it's pretty chilly this morning, and so we're just getting things going to get feeding, doing chores. I wanted to come over here and show you guys on these calves. See how they've got snow on their backs? That actually, you know, a lot of people think that means that they're cold, and you know, that snow's on their back, they're probably freezing cold. But that snow on their back's actually a good sign. That means that their hair is doing the right thing and it's keeping them warm. So that snow actually means that their hide is insulating them. Their hide's actually supposed to do that. So I just wanted to come over here and show you guys that. Kind of an interesting thing about cattle. So we're gonna get rolling here. Dad's gonna go roll out a bale for them calves up there, feed ground hay. We're gonna make sure everything's up and eating. Make sure everything's gonna get something to eat this morning so that they can stay warm throughout the day. We're gonna get some bedding rolled out for the calves and all that good stuff. So come along with us. So I got a bale here. I'm gonna get some hay and put it in for my pigs so they can stay warm and burrow into that. They've already got a decent amount, so I don't have to put much in there, but we'll get some in there for them because it's gonna be cold for the next 3 days, so it'll be a nice peace of mind knowing they've got some hay in there. We're gonna try to get Dad's pickup started here, and so then we can pull it in the shop and keep it in there where it's warmer, so we know it'll start, because we'll have to go out tomorrow and move the cows, give them more hay and stuff like that, so we'll need this pickup. So we want it to be in the shop when it's super cold tomorrow. Wow. That's why we're gonna put it in the shop, because it's way too cold to be sitting out here. So I'm gonna let this warm up while we finish chores. Then we're gonna throw it in, because we gotta put it in first before the Bobcat. And this is the only time today we're gonna have the Bobcat out of the shop, so we kinda gotta do it now. So Dad's spreading out some hay for these calves in the south pen. Get them some bedding to lay on. Behind this windbreak here. So they'll lay on this, you know, out of the wind here, and they'll also eat on it throughout the day. So we're hoping that rolling out this bale in here will give them enough to eat on throughout the day that that we won't have to come out this afternoon and feed them again. This should suffice throughout the day. So we come down to check out the cows, and we're gonna chop some ice for them so they can get something to drink this morning. They're all standing here waiting, so we'll get a spot opened up for them. So Dad got everything pulled out of the shop. I pulled my car in so I could shut it off while we was doing chores here for a couple hours, because it didn't really want to start the best this morning, even in my garage at home. So hopefully it'll start a little better after chores now. The Dad got the pickup and the Bobcat pulled out. He's gonna start feeding. I'm gonna go check some waters, check on the pigs, and then I'm gonna head down the creek, check on the cows. I'll probably have to break some ice for them so they can get a drink, check their hay situation, and more than likely they're gonna need lead into the next piece so that they can get some hay. So we'll go play around in the cold weather, have some fun. It's very cold. The weather deal is like another one of them cold weather advisory deals. Says that it's supposed to be like -40-degree wind chills and all that good stuff. So we'll make sure everything's fed, make sure everything's up eating, and hopefully everything's getting warmed up. I enjoy wearing coveralls because they keep me warm, but I try to only wear them when it's super cold like this, or when I kind of need to wear them, because they're so clunky and hard to walk around in and stuff. You just can't move as easy. So I don't like wearing them because of that. But insulated pants. If you have never heard of insulated pants before, go out and get you a pair. I mean, you can get them in just the regular blue jean look. Wrangler makes them, and Wrangler makes some really good pairs. I got a couple pairs for Christmas, and they're warm. They're really warm. They're almost like a mini pair of coveralls on, but they're still, you can still move around in them and stuff. And I know that's what Dad and I choose to wear anywhere to stay warm in these cold weather like this. Is insulated pants keeps us pretty good. But, all right, pigs are watered. I got them all up and got them all to get a drink, because if they don't get a drink right away, their water's just gonna freeze, and they're not gonna get a drink. So I'll probably come back out again this afternoon and try to give them another little drink. Man, I was outside for like 10, maybe 15 minutes. It's cold. Holy cow, my fingers are chilly. Looks like the cows are waiting down here to get a drink. So down at the crossing, it looked like the water had come up over the ice, so they can get a drink there at least. But I'm gonna go ahead and bust open these holes that we poked yesterday through the ice for them with the axe down here so that they can get a drink. Got this busted open for these guys. There we had 3 holes poked open for them yesterday. I got all 3 back open again today. And then the crossing, like I said, the water was coming up over the crossing, so they can get a drink there as well. So they're doing pretty good. Got some more coming over the hill that were out grazing, coming to get a drink. So that's a good sign. They don't look bad. They all look full. They actually don't seem too bad right now. I'm gonna go out and check their hay and see how much hay they got left, but more than likely I'm gonna let them into the next piece and give them some more hay. I'm gonna sit here for a while and let them drink, or let a good majority of them drink anyway. Make sure they find the water, because the moment I take off, they're probably gonna take off and follow me. So while I've got it broke open for them, I want them to get a drink here. It's so cold that the water splatter is freezing my jacket and my gloves, and so the axe handle is pretty much all ice, so I was making it kind of hard to hold it to get a good hole punch for them. Okay, so I think we're just gonna go ahead and plan on opening the gates for them and letting them into some more hay, just so we know for sure they've got stuff to eat and fill up on today. And then if they still got hay left out in here, then they can come back and eat on this when it's warmer in a couple days. So I'm gonna let them into this piece, and once I open this gate, I gotta go and check, make sure all the gates are closed. They should be, but I just need to go check quick, and they'll be pretty occupied eating the hay anyway. So yesterday morning when I last talked to you guys until now, so probably roughly 24 hours, we got like another 1.5 inches of snow as well. Kind of ended up snowing real lightly all day yesterday, and then kind of through the night. Now it's kind of snowing this morning a little bit, so we're getting snow with it. It's got, I mean, it's pretty dry snow. There's not a ton of moisture in it. It's definitely not heavy wet snow. It's not like a March snow anyway, so. So this is a really good example of where the bale grazing works good, because we had all the hay set out that we needed to get these cows through this cold spell, and we didn't have to worry about starting a tractor today. We don't have to burn that diesel fuel, that extra diesel fuel in a tractor today. The hay's already set out. All we had to do was drive out here, open the gate, and let them into the next piece, and they're fed. So that's where the bale grazing really works really good for us. Is it saves us a lot of time, saves us money, and it works good. So I was talking about the overspill of the water on the crossing where the cows can come get a drink. This is what I meant. There's like a solid 2 or 3 inches of slush on top of the ice here. And you might be thinking, well, man, Connor, it's -40 wind chills and -12 air temp. Why is this, why isn't it frozen solid? Well, that's because, like yesterday, how I was explaining that when it freezes, it starts, it freezes from the edges first and works its way in. So as it's freezing solid, like the first 2 or 3 feet might be froze solid right now, but that middle narrow channel is still running water. But since that ice is freezing in from each side, it's making the creek a lot narrower, and there's a lot less room for the water to run. So that water goes up, and then that's how it ends up on top of the ice like this. But it's all right. I mean, it's not a big deal because the cows can come water from this and get a drink from this where the water's running over the ice like this. It's gonna make the ice thicker, yeah, but we've only got like one more day of really cold, and then after that it's gonna be up into the 30s and 40s, then 50s next week. So it's really not a huge concern. Yeah, I just thought I'd explain that to you guys, how these creeks freeze in the wintertime. So Dad went and grabbed a kind of an older bale, a good one for some bedding, and he's gonna roll it out for the calves in the north pen and this middle pen and get them some bedding to lay in today. Something that they can eat on and lay in to stay warm. And then we'll get some waters going. And this thing is kind of, I don't know what's up with her, but she's just kind of, she's like addicted to this grain. I don't know what's going on, but she's just not patient. Right. Everything's up and eating this morning. That's a good sign. It means that everything's feeling good. Get up and eat, get them a bite to eat, and then they can get warm and hang out behind the windbreak and just enjoy the day. So these calves in this south pen are pretty protected. We got some portable windbreaks there. We've got like this railroad tie alleyway that they can get behind that blocks wind pretty good. Then there's a windbreak down in that far south down there where Dad's at right now. He's gonna put some hay in there for them so they can get in there and lay down on that, stay out of the wind after they get done eating here. The cold just doesn't affect Riley. She don't care. Right, Riley? Come here. What are you doing? Huh? So our new Bobcat's got like you can change the screen in there and go to like the digital stats like tachometer and your hydraulic temperature and oil temperature and oil pressure. It's all digital. The last time it was this cold, like a month ago, Dad had the Bobcat out feeding, and he said that if he would stop, he said the hydraulic temperature would stay right around 60, but if you'd stop and get out and open a gate and get back in, that the hydraulic temperature would drop like 20 degrees just from the wind hitting it. But the wind was blowing like 40 miles an hour then. The wind's not as bad today, so I'm sure it's staying a lot warmer, but that's just crazy how cold that these machines can get even though they're running. If they don't have that constant flow of hydraulic oil going through the lines, it's just cold. Day 3 of really cold weather. We got like some weird fog deal going on, and I don't know if that shows up on the camera or not, but it says negative 23 degrees. That's what my phone says too, and I believe it. It's cold. I didn't wear gloves this morning walking out to the car, and my fingers are chilly. It's yeah. So hopefully, I think Dad's got everything started, and we'll get to doing some chores. Down to negative 26 at the creek. It's always a lot colder down here once you get a little closer to the creek, and it drops like 3-4 degrees. You can feel it anyway. So I just caught up with Dad, talked to him. It's supposed, he said that at one point this morning it was like negative 33. So that's pretty chilly. And then we're going to wait to do any watering until it kind of warms up, because we're just gonna focus on getting everything fed. And then after that, like this afternoon, or maybe even just like around lunchtime, we'll come out and get everything watered then, because it's supposed to warm up to like -2 today, so it's not going to be as cold as it has been. But man, last night was just cold. Like my garage door opener in my garage wouldn't even work to get my car out, so I had to run it by hand. And yeah, that's cold. So I'm gonna go down here and make sure the pigs are still hanging in there. It also kept snowing throughout the day yesterday. I think we ended up with, there's a good solid 4 inches, and in some places it's closer to 6 inches of snow. So we ended up with a good amount of snow through this deal too. Ah, pigs are looking good. So I actually might water them since they're up and walking around right now while they're up. But tonight it's supposed to be like the last cold night. Today's gonna be the last really cold day. I mean, don't get me wrong, tomorrow's gonna be cold, but it's supposed to be like a high of 18. I don't think it ever actually gets to 18. I think it actually, looking at the hourly deal on the app, looks like the highest it gets is to like 2 degrees. But that's better than what it has been. So, and the sun's supposed to shine today, so that'll help things out a lot. And yeah, so I mean, the really cold stuff we're probably done with. Last night, that was last night, and now we're moving on to bigger and better things. So our new Bobcat has been doing absolutely stellar in the cold weather. It starts good, it runs good. We haven't had any problems with gelling up or anything, which I guess I don't know if that's all the Bobcat or if that's what type of fuel we're using, I don't know. Yeah, the hydraulics have been working pretty good in the cold weather. You know, other than what I was talking about yesterday, if it's like really cold, obviously there's nothing you can really do about that. But if it's like this and the sun's shining, you know, it starts good, and yeah, we have no complaints with that. It's got plenty of power, as much as we were looking for. It's that 2-speed has really changed feeding for us. We're a lot more efficient and really fast now when we feed, because we can just drive a lot faster. The one thing about it is that the hydraulic temperature has to be over 60 degrees for you to be able to kick it into the 2-speed. So if it's really cold, then we can't kick it into the 2-speed, but usually if you get in it and you're driving it and it's working, it's definitely over 60 degrees no matter how cold it is, in our experience so far. So we're pretty happy with it. Dad went and grabbed a hay bale, and we're gonna roll it out behind the windbreaks for these calves in the feedlots again today, because they need something to lay on and something to eat on throughout the day. Even though the sun's shining, it's still really cold, and it's still gonna be cold throughout the day. So we just wanna make sure that these calves are taken care of. And I think we decided we're gonna come back out here. We're gonna give it a couple hours, and we'll come back out and then start all the waters then. We'll give these calves something to eat this morning to make sure they're all up eating. Then eventually they'll get thirsty, and then they'll come drink. And so we're gonna try to time it out that when we come out here to start water is when they're all coming in to get a drink, and then they can get a drink, and then we don't have to worry about the water freezing right away. Just got the bowls water broke open for them so they can get a drink there. We got all the other waters running, and we went down and broke ice for the cows, as you guys saw. So I think that's just about gonna do it for this video. So thanks for watching, guys. We really appreciate us. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and the like button. Those both help us out a lot. And thanks for all the support. And as always, we'll catch you in the next one.